y'all, welcome back. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Reading Lounge, where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer or subscriber. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, I really do appreciate you coming back. All right, so today is the day where I'm doing the crazy realistic 24-hour reading challenge. And so I am going to challenge myself to read some really exciting, fun books, because lately I have been in a book slump because I have not been reading exciting and fun books. I picked out a few books that I thought would spark some feelings, in me, some excitement, some shock, like thrillers. I got a few romances. What else? Some drama and mess, okay? While I'm doing this, I'm going to still be living my life because things don't stop, okay? Like, life still has to go on. I still have to move my body. I still have to clean up the house. So I do have my handy headphones here to help me when I'm out and about. Do it in short spurts, like when I'm walking, cleaning up, things like that. Anyway, so I'm going to be using these to help me along in this challenge. And so let me show you the books that I chose, okay? Not saying I'm going to read all of these books. So I did pick out a few more books besides the ones that I showed in last week's video. So this is a library book. I have had it for a while. This was due back in March, and I think I renewed it. So either I'm going to read it or I'm going to return it back to the library. The Crash by Freida McFadden. I have not been in a Freida McFadden mood lately. I still need to read book 2 of The Housemaid, so I might throw that in here too, just to consider if I'm going to read. We're mood reading, okay? Nothing is, a commitment. Then I selected another messy book, a drama, romance, The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. But it's a cheating trope, and so I think I've heard some mixed reviews about this one, so I'm curious as to how I'm going to feel about this one. So I chose this one. Razorblade Tears, okay? So I'm finally delving into S.A. Cosby this time around. So we're going to see about that one. Thriller, rural country type crime fiction. Daniel Black. So I did pick 2 Black authors. Daniel Black, Perfect Peace. This one is probably a big possibility of me reading, picking up, doing this challenge as well, because I heard that this was a good one and the premise is crazy. Of course, we're going to be throwing in Beverly Jenkins. That goes without saying. Tempest in the Old West series, the last book. And then the Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster. The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips. Now, I did find audiobooks. I couldn't find audiobooks on all of these books that I'm showing you here, but I did find the audiobook for this one on Libby, and so I probably am gonna, pick this one up after I finish my current read, which, yeah, I still feel some type of way about that one, but I'm trying to get through it so I can wrap it up. The Wife Before by Shanora Williams, Black female thriller author. Also, I found the audio was available on Libby for this one, Not So Perfect Strangers. I just love this big floppy copy. So we're going to see how we are going to do with this. Of course, like I said, it's going to be throughout several days because I have a few days off. I'm not going to be reading 24 hours straight. That's just ridiculous. I'm going to be coming in and giving you little thoughts about the books as I go. I am going to start the timer. Hey Siri, set a 24-hour timer starting now.
Timers can be set for 24 hours or longer.
Hey Siri, set my timer for 23 hours and 59 minutes.
23 hours and 59 minutes. Counting down.
I am going to be reading the rest of Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. I don't have that much to go, so I'm just going to sit here and read. it's been an hour. I am on page 207. This book has a little over 250 something pages. I'm sure I can get through it today, but I'm going to take a break and I'm going to start another book, because the point of this reading challenge is to get me out of a slump. And so far, still nothing really has happened in the book, and I'm still not enjoying the book. So like I said in last week's video, the main character, Esh, her name is Esh. She's the narrator. She's narrating everything, and she's pregnant. I finally did get to the point where she did reveal to someone that she was pregnant, and she didn't get the reaction that she would have hoped for. And so now she's feeling down about herself. So at least we're starting to pick up some of her storyline. But again, nothing really has happened this far in the book as far as the hurricane. The hurricane is pretty much in the background brewing. Yeah, a little disappointed in that book, but we're gonna push through and we're gonna get it finished. My house is a mess. I mean, it's not that bad, but it definitely needs to be tidied up and cleaned and stuff like that. But while I'm cleaning my kitchen, we are going to be starting The Wife Before, and I'm going to be listening on with, I think I'm going to read the first chapter, because I bought this book with my own money and am renting pretty much the audio version. I just feel like it is a waste of money to have bought the book and then listen to on audio. Have the book, but choose to listen to it on audio. Sometimes life just gets in the way where you can't just sit down. I totally get that. If I'm listening to all of it audio, I've pretty much wasted my money buying the physical book. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of both. And so I think I'm going to start chapter 1 physically, and then I'm going to start cleaning and listening. So that is the plan. And also I'm going into this blind because I probably did read the back at some point. It's been several months and I have totally forgotten what this book is about. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my timer. Okay, so I have stopped the timer. I have been reading, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, almost 30 minutes. And I've read chapters 1 and 2 so far. And so far, I like it. So far, it's capturing my interest. I'm definitely interested. And it is going fast already, even though I'm only on page 10. And so we've met the main character, Samira, the female main character. And then we've met her brother. So it seems like she is a moocher. She's really not doing well in life. She's not prioritizing her priorities. She's borrowing money. So she seems to be kind of entitled. That's where she is in life right now, kind of like wandering. And sometimes when you're wandering in life, you can really end up making the wrong choices. I am going to hit the kitchen and continue in chapter 3.
Me by, life won't pass me by. Change is gonna come for me. 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 Life won't
have changed my shirt because I'm getting ready to head out to walk. I am at 22 hours and 7 minutes. I know that has not, well, that's almost 2 hours, y'all, so that's pretty good. I'm on chapter 3, and when you saw me in the earlier clip doing like this, I was trying to let you guys know how awesome this narrator is, and I'm just loving like the cultural references to natural hair. Recently read Wanda S. Smith, I think that's her name, Wanda Smith. What was the name of that book? I'll put the book right here. I read that recently, so it was interesting reading a thriller by a Black author because of the cultural references, which I absolutely love as a Black person to read about yourself, you know, things that you can relate to. So the dialogue between the characters, we have met the main character. Her name is Samira, and then her brother Kel, and then she lives with a roommate. Her name is Sheila, and Sheila has a boyfriend, Ben, I think that's his name. So already we've met several characters, and so far I'm loving like their relationship, their dialogue, their banter and things like that, back and forth with the cultural references. So the fact that Samira's, I want to say, work ethics have come up to play. There's been talk about that, but she's questioning her life, you know, where she is in life. Girl, you got to get yourself together, okay? You can't be mooching off your family members and your friends and your roommate. You know, that is going to get old at some point.
Change is gonna come for me. Change is gonna come for me. Change is gonna come for me. Life won't pass me by. Remember, life won't pass you by. Change is gonna come for me if I just sit back, relax and breathe. Life won't pass me by. Life won't pass me by. Even when the road gets dark, even when life gets hard, I know a change is coming for me if I just sit back, relax and breathe. 'Cause life won't pass me by. Remember, life won't pass me by. Where I'm going is a long, long way from where I've come. I've been stuck off my luck, yeah, wondering if I'm doing enough. Life won't pass me by. Life won't pass me by. Change is gonna.
Okay, so I am back, and I did several things today. I cleaned my house, I folded some clothes, I cooked tonight's dinner, I went for a 4-mile walk. I've got to make a grocery run. So as you saw, I did a lot of things, and I just stopped my timer, and I'm at 19 hours and 27 minutes or something like that, 28 minutes. give or take a few, but that's around about the time that I have left. So I have, read about close to 5 hours. So let's talk about the update since my last update. So a lot has happened, y'all, already in this book. I'm on chapter 15, which is page 59. The book is going really fast. It definitely reads like a Frida McFadden book. It's actually faster than Frida's, I would say, because her chapters are like one and a half pages long, and it's moving pretty fast. Well, she's met a famous pro golfer named Roland. They met at a party, and she ends up having this relationship with him, and he proposes. Now, that is not a spoiler because I did read the back finally of the book. A bit unbelievable. She has made, to me, a bad decision because he proposed, she accepts, and she didn't even know this man, didn't even know him a month. That's how fast the relationship went. He's a famous pro golfer with a past, a shady past, let's just say that. And so she, grapples with it in the beginning, but then she decides to give him a chance, and she ends up accepting. To me, I think she accepted because she doesn't have a job. She don't have anything going for herself. When people come into your life and you're in that situation, you set yourself up to be manipulated. I always believe in being on a equal footing as the other person that you're dating, because you can really mess yourself up when you are coming to a relationship and you have nothing to bring to the table. And so I think that's what's going to happen. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. She's coming into the relationship bringing nothing to the table, and some other things is happening as well. She's kind of questioning things that she's seeing around the house, but she's kind of scared to ask. And so that's what we are right now. That's a lot that has happened in the short 59 pages that I've read, which is chapter 15. Insane how fast this book is going, but it's very entertaining. I'm definitely loving the narrator. I love her voice, her inflection, but I don't think she's doing such a good job in certain aspects of the narration, but for the most part, I'm loving her as a narrator. A good book, I think, to listen to. So I'm going to continue to read this book tonight. You'll probably not see me again tonight, but just know the timer is still rolling and I'm still reading, and we'll just see, so far so good. I'm feeling good about books again, because I'm reading things that I'm interested in. If I don't see you back tonight, I will see you definitely tomorrow, which is gonna be a busy day because my friend's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm taking him to a baseball game here. And I've never been to a baseball game where I live. We have all 3 sports. We have a football team, a baseball team, and we have a basketball team. And I've been to a basketball team, but I've never been to a professional football game. I do like baseball. I don't watch it a lot, but I do used to love baseball when I was a young girl. And he's a baseball fan too. And so I'm taking him to a professional baseball game. So that is going to be exciting. I'll get some clips of that, footage of that. But yeah, I got to run to the grocery store to fix dinner because it's already almost 8 o'clock. Yeah, so I'm kind of late. Hey y'all, so as you can see, I am dressed and ready for the day. So I've got a lot of things going on today. So besides prioritizing reading, which I already did this morning, I woke up at, I think it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I read for an hour. And then I stopped, took a shower, got dressed because today is gonna be a busy day. I'm going to a baseball game later in the evening, so that will definitely decrease my reading time. I want to do some cardio. I want to get in some strength training. I want to do a DIY project, so I need to go to Lowe's to get some spray paint, and then I gotta sit down and do my finances and things like that, my budget. So those are the things that I need to do. I need to run to the bank too. Instead of walking outside, I'm going to the actual gym, and so I can listen with my headphones. So I'm still gonna be listening/reading, but as far as sitting down, my time is going to be limited. So I finally finished Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward, and this book was phenomenally written. I felt like the story was very overshadowed by one of the brothers' obsession with his dog. And I know that was for a reason. This is literary fiction. The fighting of animals and harming of animals really did not mesh well for me. And I was hoping to get more of Ash, the only girl of the family, And we didn't get a whole lot of her storyline other than, you know, she was also trying to navigate through a sea of men in her family, having an absent father, mother being gone and not having any direction. Her relationship with boys became more of like something she felt like she had to do. And I felt like if she had a mom, then things would have been better, or if her father was a little bit more present and not a drunk, then he could have raised her up better. So pretty much the children were on their own, you know, they were tight, they're close. Family dynamic somewhat was familiar for me, especially like growing up like in the 80s and 90s. I was hoping that Hurricane Katrina would be more weaved into the story, but we didn't really get much of that until like the last chapter. The last chapter is called chapter 12, and it's called The 12-Day Alive. And it was a few poignant phrases that I do want to mention. There was a passage that compared the lack of nurture and the lack of being motherless and pretty much fatherless as compared to the hurricane when it came through, and how the hurricane left them bare. So it says, her chariot was a storm so great and black, the Greeks would say it was harnessed to dragons. She was the murderous mother who cut us to the bone but left us alive. Let us naked and bewildered as wrinkled newborn babies, as blind puppies, as sun-starved, newly hatched baby snakes. She's pretty much talking about how Hurricane Katrina left them without a home. The home was destroyed, their town was destroyed, the way they felt when the mother died and left them to fend for themselves. I did not want to DNF the book. I did want to find out what happened to Ash and her pregnancy. And yeah, things were kind of left hanging or just in the air. And I read of The Wife Before. I am now on page 90, chapter 25. This book is going tremendously fast. I am going to the gym and I'm going to be listening with my headphones, and I'm going to try to finish this book today.
Change is gonna come for me. Change is gonna come for me. Change is gonna come for me. Life won't pass me by. Remember, life won't pass you by. Just sit back, relax and breathe. Life won't pass me by. Life won't pass me by.
Back and got him. Second strikeout for Darnovich.
What in the world?
Oh, you get everything on that.
That's good. Hot dog was not good.
Here at the bottom of the second, the RBI single by Gray. It's down 3-1.
It's the next day. I didn't get much reading done yesterday, maybe 2, pushing 3 hours, because, you know, of all those things I had to do. Plus, we went to a baseball game, which I did include clips. We really enjoyed ourselves. We had really good seats. It was almost like being right front and center, which we were. We were in a building behind a glass, air conditioning. It was almost like we spent a lot of money for those tickets, but the tickets were really really affordable, and so we will be going back again. So that's that. Right now I'm at 16 hours and 22 minutes left. Today is the last day that I have now to freely read as much as possible, with only a few things going on today. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this book, because this is a really quick read, and I probably would have been able to finish it yesterday if I didn't have those other things that I was doing. If I don't finish the 24-hour challenge today, most likely not, because I'm not going to kill myself. That's not the whole point. The point is just reading, and I'm just documenting, my reading. Yeah, this video will end when the 24 hours will end. So that may be in 1 day, 2 days, we'll just have to see.
Change is gonna come for me. Change is gonna come for me.
Hey y'all, so it is the next day. I wanted to quickly give you an update on the wife before and tell you where I am time-wise. I'll put it on the screen. 13:59 is where I am. So it's taken me a minute to do this 24-hour challenge because it's a realistic challenge. I am on page 208, so I'm well into the book. I only have this much left of the book, and I'm really loving it. Now we are getting, let's see, how many perspectives? Shamira's perspective, and also, it says it on the back of the book. So her new husband's wife died in a tragic accident. We're getting her perspective in the form of journals that Samira has found. We're starting to see some things that was going on in the marriage, which was a surprising twist because I thought it was gonna go one way. Now, I'm not finished the book, okay? And I'm expecting a major twist, being that what I expected to happen is not happening at this moment. It's kind of going in a different direction. But yeah, it is very good, very intriguing. It's got me on my feet. I have not gotten bored one time, and I should be finishing this book and moving on to the next book. Also, it's the next day, and I finally finished The Wife Before. So let's talk about it. All right, so this is a domestic thriller. This is my first read from this author, Shanora Williams. It definitely will not be my last. I'm not exactly sure how many books that she has in her catalog, but I definitely will be picking her up because this was so much fun to read. It was a good ride, good pacing, very, very quick read. The twist that is revealed at the end, I did not see coming. I was thinking it was gonna go the opposite way, but it totally went a different way. So this book explored toxic relationships. It explored trauma in your childhood and how that can affect you as an adult if you don't get those things resolved. And it was a good book. It was a good ride. It was a good ride, unexpected twist that I was happy with, and I was happy the way it ended. Very, very good read. All right, and so I am teetering between 3 books now, but these 2 are domestic thrillers as well. And I feel like if I read too much of the same thing, it might put me in another slump or I might get bored. So I think to be safe, I'm going to read Belle. This is a love story by Beverly Jenkins to switch things up. Some happiness. I think I want something different right now, some happiness, and then we'll dive into this book or The Art of Scandal. I don't want to just
Change is gonna come for me.
And so we're gonna switch up and
If I just sit back, relax.
Another day, and I have started to read Belle by Beverly Jenkins. This is a standalone book, like I mentioned before, to Josephine. Josephine and the Soldier. You may find it on Goodreads. It's the same story, just in case you were wondering. And this one is Belle, but on Goodreads, it says Belle in the book. But I would recommend reading this one first if you're interested in reading Josephine, because Belle is mentioned in Josephine, and Josephine is mentioned in Belle. This book starts off with Belle being in a, I don't know, like a field or something like that, or along the road, hiding, running from slave catchers. Her family, which included her father, and may have been some other people too, were separated, and they were just about to be caught by the slave catchers when her dad told Belle to run. So she's been on the run, getting separated from her family, her father not knowing if the slave catchers caught him, And this is right before, I believe, emancipation. So this happens in 1859. So, you know, just before, a few years before the end of slavery. And she is found by Daniel. Daniel and Josephine are riding along the road when I think they noticed her or some movement or something like that, and they encouraged her to come out. She came out from her hiding space and they've taken her back home. So this is going to be like a young love story. Belle is a young girl. She is 16, Daniel is 18. And little Josephine at this time is, I'm not sure how old Josephine is in this story, probably a few years younger. She's probably a few years younger. One thing I picked up with Beverly Jenkins is that she makes her female characters very self-sufficient, very strong-willed, very determined. I'm always relating things that I read in books to my plight as a woman, as you know, I'm reading these stories about women. So that's how she writes her characters, and I'm all for that. I'm all for woman empowerment. I'm on page 23, chapter 3. Hopefully finish this tomorrow. I'm gonna focus on this book. Now, since I've been doing this 24 reading challenge, some books from Libby, of course, became available. A book I've been wanting to read for some time came available. Kill for Me, I Kill for You by Stephen Kavanaugh, I think. And Firstborn Girls by Bernice L. McFadden came through. So I may be listening to one other book besides this one, because I'm not sure if I want to start this book right away, because it's another domestic thriller and I just finished reading a domestic thriller. I don't want to read two same genre books back to back. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see.
Joke, right? Said Amanda. Do I look like I'm joking? Asked Naomi. She sat forward, her elbows on the table.
This part. Tell me about you and Hood. Her gaze went chasing off. I'm not sure what you mean. Rumors are going around saying you two are sparking. Sparking, that's the word they use. Your sister has never liked me. This has nothing to do with Joe. Is it true? Daniel could see her gauging his mood and whether she could get away with fabricating a reply. He knew her well because he'd known her a long time. It's this way, Daniel. Paul and I, well, I think I'm in love with him. Daniel's jaw tightened. So it is true. He felt like a fool. Then I hope you'll be happy. Oh, Danny, don't look like that. If this doesn't work out, you know I'll be back. Girl, bye. Like, really? You told this man that you're in love with someone else, but if it doesn't work out, he'll be back? What man, especially a black man, is going to take you back after cheating on him? Yeah, well, I won't want you back. She stared. Daniel, Francine, what do you think this is? I'm not going to wait around to see if you and Hood work out. Well, we'll not. Girl, bye. Y'all, so guess what? I have finished the 24-hour reading challenge. And so I'm going to wrap this video up quick because this video was like almost 50 minutes. So I had to delete some things because I didn't want you guys sitting and watching a very, very huge video, even though I couldn't help it because this is a 24-hour reading challenge and it actually took me a little over a week. So I'm going to quickly tell you guys the rating of the book and any other thoughts about the books that I read, and also some things that I learned about myself while doing this. So I guess I'll start with that. So I did do immersive reading while reading this book, The Wife Before by Shanora Williams. I did listen. I had my headphones on and I actually was listening while reading myself. Did I like that experience? No, I didn't. It was just too much going on. So I did not like that when I'm doing both at the same time. I don't think, I'll be doing that. But anyway, so I really did enjoy this book. I talked about it in the previous clips. I'm going to tell you what I rated this book. I rated this a 3.5. I'm not going to rate it a 4 because I also learned something that I like in my thrillers is to be somewhat realistic. If the story has a silly or unrealistic element or plot line, I don't feel like that is a 4-star book for me. Even though I know this is fiction, for me, I think it's important for me to be able to believe the story somewhat. Some of the things that was happening in this book, like you just knew that nobody would ever do that or that would never happen. I've never heard of anything, which is good because it, you know, shows how creative this writer is, but it still was kind of silly and unbelievable. But having said that, I really love this book, good pacing. It was a 3.5, so definitely something to read, and it won't be my last. And then I read the last 25% of Salvage the Bones. You guys know how I feel about this book. To be honest with you, I'm kind of afraid to go into one of her other books because I'm learning her as a writer, and she writes literary fiction. So you're definitely going to have to think, you know, a little deeper when you read her books. And so, yeah. And then I finished Belle. This is the last book, full book that I finished, by Beverly Jenkins, YA young romance. This is the companion to Josephine and the Bow, right? Josephine and the Soldier, or Josephine, and this is Belle, or Belle and the Bow. And I have to say that I love this one, I would say, more than I did Josephine, because it was a lot more character development, and Belle had more of a, I would say, significant story. She was coming from a enslaved runaway to seeing the world as a free person and having to learn to navigate her new world, reading, being able to go down the street without a pass, stuff like that. And so I really did enjoy her story better. It was more substance. I love the parents. I met all the characters in Josephine, the parents, Daniel. He was also a character as well. I loved him as a character. I love Josephine. In this story, she's 12, and so she was a little younger in the story, which I, thought to be so. But this was such a good book, very sweet, very endearing, emotional. Definitely gonna get some historical facts like the fugitive slave law. You're gonna learn about that law with her books, because this is not the first book that I've read that have mentioned the Fugitive Slave Act. So you definitely gonna get a history lesson. That's why it's good to read nonfiction, so you can kind of know these things when you go into books like this. And then I am reading this book right here. So Libby sent me a notification saying, hey, this is available. What you want to do? You want to read it or not? And so I was like, you know what? It took me 20 weeks to be able to read it, Libby. So we're going to go ahead and read it. So I listened to this, and y'all, I started it one day and I'm already at 70%. Today is day 2 of reading the book, and it is going really, really fast. The pacing is fast. The thriller or the twist are twisting. This is definitely a good book, and the plot line is believable. It's believable. Like, I've heard things in news stories that has happened similar to this one. So I'm not finished, but just a few themes: vigilante justice, revenge, lies, lies. And so, yeah, so this one is following 3 women quickly who go through a tragic event relating to their family members or themselves. And so 2 of them meet at a support group for like crime victims, and listening to each other's story, they kind of learn something about each other, or one learns something about the other lady, and they end up meeting and plotting this revenge. Kill for me, kill for you. Can definitely see where that's going, right? And so it's only took me 35 minutes into the book to know what was going on, or what the plot they were plotting in the book, and then an hour for me to realize what was going on in the third character's third person story. Her name was Ruby. I think her name was Ruby. And then the other 2 ladies was Wendy and Amanda. But yeah, really loving this book. and I'm definitely going to finish it today because I'm listening to it 100% by audio. So that is it, you guys. I've enjoyed this experience. It won't be my last time, but not probably for a while. If you made it to the end, please leave a heart down below so I know you watched till the end. Thank you so much for your support in watching this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and be blessed. Bye.